Welcome in! Fantasy Council's back, episode 5. Oh yeah. Man, y'all looking sweat.
Oh shit.
What the hell? Oh.
Great to be back. We got a big episode today. Got previews, the week 4 review, some huge trades went down, and then the week 5 preview. We'll see if Terry remains undefeated. We'll get our best bets. Welcome in, everyone. Oh yeah. Great episode. How y'all doing?
I'm doing good, man. Except not really, but you know.
Jack's down bad. Luke looks like you know what you look like? Oh, what's the have you ever seen y'all seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right? He looks like the black and white Spider-Man.
The Spider Noir.
Spider Noir, yeah. Spider Noir.
Nice.
Ooh, so clean.
Ooh.
I think if I'm not mistaken, oh no. Council almost went undefeated. Luke barely lost by 8.
He lost
because of Trevor Lawrence.
4 fumbles.
Well, even if I played
gosh.
Stafford, I would have lost. Like,
Yeah, but
oh my gosh.
if he didn't fumble once, which like most quarterbacks don't fumble, you would have won the game.
yeah, that's fair. He
That's the
did
way to
sell
look at it.
out.
Well, today we're going to go over what happened this week. A much more exciting week, in my opinion, than week 3. Week 3 was a dud. I
Yeah.
feel like there was some regression, some players doing better, some players doing worse. And then we have some teams kind of breaking out, having good weeks. And then also some good teams, fumbling the bag and still winning some of them. So we'll see. We're going to go over those matchups here in a moment. I think, Gavin, I have given you screen sharing privileges.
All right. I'm gonna do the
Yeah,
recap,
the run through. Yeah.
rundown, and then we'll screen share, get the trades, right?
Yes. Oh, we're going to trades before review?
I like that. It's up to the people, but
What do y'all think? Jack, Luke? What do y'all prefer?
I don't care.
all right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
We're getting into it. All right, week 4. Things start to fall together. Gavin McGilvray defeated James I. Vesser. Close game. Not really. It's the largest upset. It's the biggest blow of the week. That was a straight up lie. I won by a lot. Justin Jefferson and Damian Pierce carried. Max McClendon versus Zac Preview. In spite of Kamara being out in London, getting screwed over by the 9:30 kickoff. Max still filled out the W, carried by Mike Evans, and really Wingfield being bad, more importantly. William beat Spencer. He hopefully decides the winner of their trade a couple of weeks back. Debo goes off. James Robinson has a tough week. The most exciting matchup of the week, Bret versus LJ. Right off the heels of an exciting trade we want to talk about. And it came down to the wire. It feels generous to say that Cam Akers helped win the game, but he did push Bret over the top with his 13 yards of offense. Longworth lost to Jack Terry in the opposite of the game we just talked about, 71-80. Terrible game. Trevor Lawrence set the record for most fumbles in the 21st century. Ugly football, followed by a more ugly football. Jack Phillips defeats Jackson Passwords, the game of the week, 90-65. A slugfest between two of the worst teams in the league, but Allen Robinson continues to do Allen Robinson things. Cooper Kupp continues to do Cooper Kupp things.
Thank you, Gavin.
I gotta
That's my
start writing
favorite-
a script.
That's
for
my favorite
those.
segment every week.
I gotta step up my game, but I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna jump right into trades. Sorry, I wasn't really listening to what you said. I just was like, yeah, you do need to step up your game. Sorry. We're gonna jump right into trades. Should I share screen or are you, Gavin?
I'll share my screen. You just
Okay.
gotta let me. All right, we got it.
Go down to go to the league tab, and then scroll down to transaction history, recent activity, yeah, and then click view, yeah, and then filter by
Oh,
trade.
sick. Okay, nice.
So 3
All right,
trades went
let's
down
start
this week.
with which
We're
one
gonna
went
go
off?
in order. We're gonna go with the Gavin LJ Bret trade was the first one.
Okay.
And then Luke and LJ, and then today's Jackson and Spencer. So we got a lot to go through on these. I wish we can go back and I wish we can click the player through this. I guess you can't. Okay, so we're gonna go through.
I'll pull them up and drag. Does this work? Can y'all see this different sleeper tab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna go through them really quick. So Gavin got DJ Moore, Amon-Ra, Jahan Dotson, gave up Mostert, Sutton, Sanders. LJ got Lockett, Sanders, Wilson for Aaron Jones, Moore, and Dotson. And then Bret received Mostert, Aaron Jones, Sutton for Lockett, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Garrett Wilson. Luke, what's your immediate reaction to this trade?
If I remember correctly, and I feel like it was like last week, so I might not be remembering super well. Yeah, thank you. Pull that up for me.
Oh, wait, I think if you click on the trade, then it filters to it in the league chat.
No, I just went and found it.
Okay.
Yeah, just go find it. If
Okay,
I remember, my immediate reaction was just LJ lost. Just off the principle of, I mean, Garrett Wilson's playing all right. Lockett's playing all right, but like he lost Aaron Jones, who was like probably the biggest or second biggest player in the trade, depending on how you view Amon-Ra. And it didn't seem from a value standpoint like smart. It didn't really seem from like a managerial positional standpoint smart. I just didn't really see why LJ clicked accept. But everyone else did all right. I don't think anyone else had a super like win or loss. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Jack, you have any reactions before we go to Gavin? I want to hear Gavin's story about how this went down.
Yeah, kind of along the same lines. I mean, now Miles Sanders now the performances that LJ got makes the trade look better for him, but it's still only 1 week, and I'm still not fully bought in. Miles Sanders has looked good. I don't know how long he'll be able to sustain that. And then Lockett is not the usual boomer bust receiver that we're used to. He seems to be like have a consistent role, like he's going to be consistently good flex play every week. But I think the clear winner to me is Bret. Even though he gives up Amon-Ra, I think Sutton's a close enough replacement, and he gets, like Luke said, maybe arguably the best player in the trade. So 2 big pieces for him there. Obviously, giving up Amon-Ra sucks, and then I feel like Gavin pretty much got back what it was pretty fair deal for him.
Yeah. Gavin, walk through what happened. How did this trade go down?
Okay. This trade started with strange circumstances. I tried to trade with LJ the morning of the trade. I sent him something for Miles Sanders for DJ Moore and Jahan Dotson. And then he responded he didn't want to do that. He didn't like that, but he said if we could do something where I trade Aaron Jones and get back 2 receivers, I'd be in. So I went and looked around who had stuff to trade, and I saw Bret has really some good receiver depth, and he had even better back when he had Lockett and Wilson and London, all those guys. So I put together a trade with him, and it was this exact trade, and LJ really liked it, and said he'd accept right away. And then it was just a matter of tracking down Bret and convincing him to listen to it. So I texted him, and I waited for 4 hours, and then he responded, and then I Texted him again, and he responded an hour later. And I asked him if I could call him when he got out of class. We just gave him a phone call, business like presentation of why he should accept the trade. And I was able to sway him over the course of like a 20-minute phone call.
Hmm. Nice.
I talk him into Mostert and talk him out of
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
If
Yeah.
I can contribute a little bit, I remember like the day before this trade, I was looking around for some running back depth, and I just saw Aaron Jones and shot LJ a flyer text, said, "Hey, like, what's Aaron Jones?" And I think I offered him like, I don't remember exactly, but it was like 2 wide receivers that I kind of was like, "There's no way in hell he takes this." And from what my knowledge was, he was really considering it. So I think he was just low on Aaron Jones.
Which is surprising because
he's
I
a
know
Which
he's
is
a
Packers
Packers
surprising.
fan.
fan.
He's a huge Packers fan, all this stuff. But
Mhm.
like that does kind of make sense on why he clicked the accept button. Just because, like
Mhm.
me and Jack said, like the only way it makes sense is he had to have been low on Aaron Jones because he gave him away for nothing. But like I
Look at-
vaguely don't have any specifics. I don't want to go back and look at my texts, but like that was a little tidbit precursor to this trade from my perspective.
Mhm. If I normally when I try to discern who won a trade, I look at, where's the best player going. And in this scenario, I think Amon-Ra's the best player. And so Amon-Ra goes to Gavin. So my immediate reaction is like, okay, I think, Gavin probably wins this trade. But if I look again, I think at this point, DJ Moore is kind of just fodder. I know I'm sorry, Gavin. I'm not a fan of DJ Moore anymore. He might have some good games, but I don't think he has any value right now. And then Jahan Dotson just got hurt. Obviously, that was before that happened. So to me, you can kind of just get rid of Moore and Dotson out of this trade. And then he's given up Sutton and Sanders, and Mostert is kind of in the same kind of DJ Moore Dotson to me. And so Gavin gives up Sutton and Sanders from Amon-Ra, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And then LJ gives up Aaron Jones, if we're ignoring Moore and Dotson, for Lockett, Sanders, and Wilson. That's also pretty good. And then Bret gets Aaron Jones and Sutton for Amon-Ra, Lockett, and Wilson. And I think that becomes really good just because Aaron Jones is now his RB2 and Courtland Sutton is his wide receiver 2. And so it's like, I think all 3 teams ended up with a good trade. And obviously, I can see it now post week 4 that, some of these players changed value post this trade. But I don't know. I don't think there's like a clear winner, and I don't think there's a clear loser. LJ had a great week. Bret had a great week. All 3 of these teams had a great week. And so I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. You have any rebuttal, Gavin?
I will say, I mean, I felt similar about Moore as you do. I felt the same way about Moore and Dotson. I saw Dotson as he's a rookie, so I was hoping he'd improve throughout the season, but injury makes that look a little questionable. And I see Moore as he's a very talented player, and it looks like they might lean on him a little more. He got 11 targets this week, which that's something. I mean, even if they're bad Baker Mayfield targets, 11, that's a good number. And then the real driving force that led me to start this trade was just not wanting to rely on Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's a good player, a good running back, but he is on the same team as Jalen Hurts. And they like to give goal line rushes to Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. And they really just don't make it a priority for Miles Sanders to score. So you get weeks like last week where he carries the ball 15 times, averages 3 yards a carry, doesn't do much. Or you get weeks like this week where he's in a good offense and they have a lead and it's raining and they just feed him and he gets 2 touchdowns and 134 yards. I wish that I had traded Miles Sanders this week instead of last week. I still would trade him.
The career high in carries looks good, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. 27 carries. And he's number 8 right now.
I think that's a symptom of the weather and Boston Scott being inactive.
Yeah. I will also say that the Eagles were handed the ball at like the 30-yard line 5 times in that game. So that definitely boosted
Sorry,
his
Longworth.
scoring opportunity.
Thank you, Tila. Yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
pretty much with y'all's points on that. I wouldn't consider myself the big winner of this trade. I think that it's like a chemical reaction.
You're a winner. You're a winner at heart because you get
I'm a
Amon
winner.
Ra on the Lions.
I
So
made my team a little bit better during the transfer of value to Bret's team. I
Yeah.
like caught on to the edge of that, and then a rising tide raises all ships.
nice. Well, let's hit the next trade. It was between Longworth and LJ. Let's see. Well, Jack, why don't you give your thoughts on this, and then we'll give it to Longworth last. You can tell us how it went down and everything.
Well, immediately, and I still kind of think this. I think LJ wins, and it's mainly because of my outlook on CeeDee Lamb. I think people were giving up on him too early. And when it comes to tight ends, like once you get past Andrews and Kelsey, it's like there's some are going to be better than others, but not by a lot. So I just don't think the CD for Thomas downgrade or Thomas for CD downgrade, or I think whatever, you know what I'm talking about, was worth Waller, and that, in my opinion. And he didn't look good this week. He's going to have some weeks where he looks great. But there's just so many mouths to feed on that offense, and you might have weeks like last week where they just feed Jacobs like 30 touches or something. So he'll definitely have his weeks, but I would just rather have the more consistent and elite player in CeeDee Lamb. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Gavin, any thoughts?
I thought this was about a toss-up of a trade. I probably would have liked to keep CD, but I'm not a big Michael Thomas guy, and CD has won me over these last couple weeks. So I do kind of lean LJ, but if Waller is what this trade is hoping he is, then I think Longs wins. If he actually got an elite tight end, which it's been a bumpy start, but Waller, he's shown that he can be an elite tight end, and that is a huge difference maker in fantasy. So I don't really, if it works out that way, then I don't have an issue with it. But there's reason to be a little worried about Waller. Is the only thing that makes me hesitant about this trade. So I do lean LJ, but I could see it turning around.
Michael Thomas has been phenomenal wise on the field, and he catches touchdowns, and they're in a more pass-heavy offense. Darren Waller has not had his good game yet. I mean, he had a good week too. I take that back. But last 2 weeks, whether it was game scripted out, without Renfro, hasn't done very much. It's all gone to Matt Collins. And then CD has had 2 good games as well. Obviously, Njoku, I don't know. How did Njoku do week 4? I don't really know.
He did all right.
Nothing elite.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of in that, that mesh of playable tight ends. And then I think CD's a good receiver. Longworth, why don't you go through how the trade went down?
So I initiated it, and I kind of looked at my team, and I thought, okay, I have a bunch of mediocre wide receivers, right? Like I had Jamar, I had CD, but then I also had guys like Elijah Moore. I had guys like Amari. And it's like, okay, those guys are like maybe flex plays. And I looked at tight end, I had Njoku. And I don't know if you've looked at the statistical analysis for David Njoku. He always has one good game a year, and then is dog shit the rest of the year.
This is tracking so far through 1 year.
Or like I think in 2019 he had another 27 bomb or something. But I looked and I was like, he's not going to do it again. And he played well, that game before. So I was like, I got to capitalize on this. And pivot to a new, better tight end. Obviously, you're not getting Kelsey or Andrews for any good price. Pitts, I'm out on Pitts. I just didn't have the stones to trade for Pitts.
That's really
And it was
disappointing.
like, okay,
Yeah.
well then you have Waller. Waller's the next best. He's my tight end 4. So what happened? I really hated to give up CD. That was a gut punch. I tried to go Njoku and like 2 of like the Elijah Moore or Amari kind of tier receivers on my team. But it didn't work. And I don't know. I got Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, I think, is a little more stable than CD, especially with the Cooper Rush offense. And Sir drops a lot. CD Lamb. I don't know. I think Michael Thomas just is always going to give you, if he's healthy, those 6 catches for 60 yards, maybe a touchdown. And that like minimum 13-point floor, which is pretty nice. Well, I don't know. I'm a little 50-50. I don't think there was a clear winner or loser in this trade. Like, I feel like a lot of the times I trade, it's like, oh, I'm trying to scam. Like last year, I was always trying to hoodwink somebody. This one was just an even, I needed this, and he liked the talent upgrade in CD. So it worked.
Yeah. I think that it was a pretty even trade. Like, I don't see it as someone being scammed. I think that if you'd gotten someone other than Michael Thomas, I would like it more. Just because I'm not much of a believer. It's been too long since he was that dominant guy.
I just don't like. What makes you think Michael Thomas is more stable than CeeDee Lamb?
I think the Cowboys, when they're hitting, they're really hitting, and then they can put up some stinkers on offense. Like, I think that the passing volume is there for CD, but I think, what was it, week 1, he had 9 or 11 targets with 2 catches.
11. Yeah.
Like,
I feel like that's kind of
these
an
games.
anomaly. Like,
Yeah, but he had those games last year.
yeah, but that was with Cooper.
Like, look, 4 targets, but then in one of the earlier games of that year, he had a pretty low efficiency. Look, 9-2 week. Like, I don't know. I'm a little out on CD. I think he's still going to be either low end wide receiver 1 or high end wide receiver 2, but he's not the wide receiver 4 he was drafted at. And I think Michael Thomas, you trade away the low end wide receiver 1, you get like a maybe low wide receiver 2, and then a tight end 4. I don't know. It seems pretty comparable to me, but that's my opinion, and I made the trade, so it's a little biased.
Yep. Interesting. Okay.
All right, we got one more trade to go through. I would lean
Trade, then we
OJ
gotta
on that
knock
trade
out some.
probably, just because of that being. Stevie had 2 good games in a row, so of course I can say that. And then this one, which happened
huge
today,
trade.
this has been the biggest. Okay. Is this the which trade is bigger? Okay, this one or the Terry LJ one that happened, whatever that was, where it was like Derrick Henry was moving.
I gotta go find out now.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either. We'd have to go ask him. I just know Derrick Henry, like Michael Thomas, Calvin Ridley were involved.
And I don't remember who got given up, but like those were 3 huge names just for one side to move.
But look at this. You got 4 top 2 round drafts between Andrews McCaffrey, Najee Brown, Kyle Pitts, who
Kyle Pitts had an ADP of around there. He went so much later in our league. He had like an early 3rd ADP.
Jacobs, who just got career high touches, and Thielen, who's been balling out last 2 weeks. This is a huge trade. This is the biggest trade of the year. Easily.
You're forgetting me and LJ's trade last year. Like Cup. No. He's talking about Terry and LJ's trade. was 2 different trades. But
What was your
same
trade?
thing.
Here,
It was
I found it. I got to pull that.
Okay.
It is Julio, Derrick Henry, and Michael Thomas for Cooper Cup, Mike Williams. And
I mean, I
Nick Chubb.
scalped the crap out of him.
That's
Okay, wait,
what
hold
happens.
on. Cooper, Mike Williams, Chubb for
Oof.
Julio, Derrick Henry, Michael Thomas. Yeah, that's probably bigger.
Bad,
I mean,
bro.
this looked
I
like
mean,
a good trade until
It did, and it did, but in hindsight, it wasn't a good trade.
that, and then there's
Yeesh.
also the worst trade of all time. The Terry getting Henry, Ridley, and Michael Thomas, and all 3 players getting declared out for the season within.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
they went back and traded Metcalf for Ridley, which was weird. So it ended up just being a 2 for 2, I think.
Oh.
No, they fixed it. They did end up.
Oh,
that
they did
twice
go
for
back?
some reason. I don't know.
No, I do remember that being weird. I was the commissioner on that. I was like, "What is going on?"
All right.
Anyway,
Well,
it
anyways,
did
No,
end
they
up
had
being
a.
this.
There was like it was like a Monday night or something, and so they
Yes.
switched for the Monday night game.
Oh.
That's what it
Mhm.
was.
Interesting.
But anyway, that's in the past. We got to talk about.
I think though that you could contend that this is the biggest trade just because you got
Think
a
so.
top 3 running back skill position and then a top 2, possibly not 2. Mark Andrews, just kidding. I don't know. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
Gavin, you're a Kelsey guy.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, this is massive.
It's a huge
Um,
trade.
I had been trying to trade for Andrews, so when this happened, I did not. I mean, I didn't see this coming. Did Spencer Cont reach out to any of y'all
I didn't
asking
hear
about
anything
it?
from him.
yes.
No, he didn't. No one reached out to me.
Oh, Jack. Oh gosh, Jack. What happened?
Well, here's what happened. Spencer sends me a text. It says Juju for Jacob straight up. And I was trying to like play it cool.
And you didn't
Um,
make that?
No. I
There's
was
a
like,
text.
it wasn't one of those where like send it now because I didn't want to scare him off and be like, oh, why does he want this so bad?
And
but
you
it was
need
like-
running backs.
Well, yeah. And so I sent him like, yeah, like let's definitely talk about it or something. And then I get a call from him like 10 minutes later, and he's telling me about this trade he has with Jackson. And I'm like,
She, let me get in there.
I was like, well, I heard Jacobs wasn't involved. And I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, I thought we were going to try to do something. And so I tried to get involved. I tried making a 3-way workout. And it worked for Spencer and I. It didn't work for Jackson. And then I was like, Spencer told me, he was like, okay, I'll call you later about it because Jackson wasn't answering. And then like an hour later, I see the trade went through, and I was like, well, can't have shit in Detroit, apparently.
I'm so sorry.
I can't. It is. I mean, I can't blame people for not wanting to trade with me right now because, like, why would anybody want my players right now? They're playing horrible.
Bro. For now.
But yeah. I mean, for now, yeah. It's a goodbye low, but
All
I mean,
the
I
more
don't
reason
know, like,
to trade with you.
that's true. But yeah. Oh well.
Missed out. So this is big. Obviously the votes are 2-6 in favor of Spencer, I think.
I voted for Spencer, but this is one of the best my team sucks. I need to rejuvenate talent trades I've seen in a
Yeah.
This is
while.
an insane
Yeah.
haul.
This
He
is
got
an
a
all
haul, bro.
timer. This is an all timer trade right here.
This
For
is
so many
I think
reasons.
it's balanced. Like right
I
now,
think it
maybe
is
it'll
too.
change throughout the season. But right now, this looks like Jackson's team just got its like
It got
Like,
it
he could
shit
contend
together.
now.
save the season type trade.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. I like my first instinct was, Jackson, just because of how much he needed this trade to happen. And I was like, Jackson just completely re-rostered his team. But then I think about how Spencer gets, McCaffrey and Andrews, and them two can combine for 70. And so it's like, well, maybe Spencer did win. And so I don't know. I think both teams honestly win in this scenario because Spencer had the depth to give. Obviously, he just lost Patterson, which is a little disappointing. And then Paszawits gets an insane haul. Yeah. What I'd like to hear if y'all have any different opinions. I think that's kind of what you just said, Gavin.
I mean, I like Najee. Like he's getting. I'd be worried about Pitts. I don't know that he's going to be a usable tight end this year, but he's obviously super talented. He's underperforming. Maybe they'll throw the ball more than how many times do they throw it? Maybe they'll throw the ball more than 19 times and get more than 7 completions. The Falcons are basically the Braves at this point. Or Braves. I'm stupid. The Bears. And that's terrible for fantasy. So we'll see about Kyle Pitts. But Najee, AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a top 15 wide receiver. He's a stud.
Top
Josh
10.
Jacobs looks like he's going to be, probably top 10. Josh Jacobs looks like he's going to be a really usable, solid running back. They won this game they won their first game of the year when they decided to feed Jacobs. So maybe they'll keep doing this.
34 opportunities.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Is that his highest ever?
Oh yeah, by a lot.
I don't know. He's had some games.
He had a couple 30s.
His rookie year, I want to say he had some.
Yeah, week 80 has 31 right there.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
his rookie
the
year,
combined targets, that might be his
20
most ever.
Yeah,
that's
in total touches, maybe.
Yeah, total touches.
I mean, I've been trying to trade for Jacobs for like 3 weeks now, which makes it all the more disappointing that Spencer was finally willing to give him to me, and then he just, and I can't blame him. Like, the trade might end up being better for him. I try to tell him, like, hey man, it's week 5 coming up. There's still 9 weeks left. You don't want to sell out the house for 2 elite players. Like, things could still go south. And I honestly think he's like, a part of me wants to think he's giving up on Najee a little bit too early. And I've kind of been a Najee hater. Like, he was a stay away from me in drafts, which luckily I was early enough in all of my drafts where I didn't even have to make that decision. But I still think he's got enough volume, and the offense has played fairly tough run defenses, which it doesn't really get in.
Yes, don't worry, it gets better. Buffalo, Tampa, and Miami.
I don't know.
The Phillies.
Yeah, it's pretty even trade, but I'm obviously a little salty.
I think there's upside for Harris that maybe the offense just gets better with Kenny Pickett, because we know Mitchell Trubisky is a bad quarterback, and we don't know if Kenny Pickett's a bad quarterback. He probably is. He's a rookie. He's probably not going to come in and make a huge difference, but he might.
He's better than Trubisky.
He might be better than Trubisky.
He is better than Trubisky.
So, well, rookie quarterbacks are bad for fantasy, but we'll see if he can.
But better than Trubisky is what I'm saying. It's still an upgrade.
Yes. So, I think that the whole offense of Pittsburgh could improve.
Yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I like this trade for both parties. I think Spencer got better. He got McCaffrey and Andrews. That's awesome. There's a lot of depth, and that could hurt him, but I like it anyway.
I don't know if it shows up on Sleeper, but I actually just went and changed my vote to Jackson winning the trade.
It does say that. Here, I'll do that too. Now it's easy.
The more I think about it, I just love what Jackson did. Just like out of the principle of the damn thing. Like Mark Andrews and Christian McCaffrey, they may win you a couple weeks, but they're like long term. Like, this sounds terrible. Jackson's team needed to get rid of them. Like, he needed to inject talent in more than 2 positions of his roster. And I think he took on question marks, right? He took on Pitts. He took on AJ Brown. AJ Brown's the most consistent person, but like, you know what I mean? He took on Najee. I was blanking there. Like, if those guys do hit, like, he just got half a damn starting lineup. He literally just got 2 running backs, a tight end, and a receiver. Like, that's huge. And I'm not saying, those guys are destined to hit, but if they do, it's going to be great. But if he didn't make the trade, he might get maybe 1 or 2 more wins off the back of CMC and Andrews. So it's like, I remember making a couple of these trades like week 11 and 12 of last year, gearing up for playoffs. where it was like, okay, we need to be buying talent and going to players that were in the bottom half of the standings and be like, hey, let me take your studs. Like you can't be doing this. Like you need to be avoiding last place. Like you need to be filling roster positions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And while it's a way earlier than what I was doing that week, like 11, 12, like that Jackson's playing the exact way I love to play fantasy football here. So I have to vote for him.
Nice. Nice. Good reasoning.
I agree.
Well,
I think it's a good trade.
Let's head over to the previews. Week 5, lots of stuff going on. Maybe we'll have a better week 5 than even week 4. It seems like fantasy's picking up. It seems like
let's start with my game because I got a week in a second.
Okay.
So I can get a
All right. Jack versus Jack. It does not look like Terry has a full lineup in 108. I guess he does. Oh my word. What is happening here?
Man, I will say, for as bad as my team has performed, Sleeper loves my team. I'm always like a top 3 projected team every week. It's great.
Hey, can we talk about my team currently does not have the in terms of projections. Fantasy Pros no longer thinks my running backs are the worst in the league.
Who is it?
Nice.
They are in this call.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Mine.
No, it's Jack.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you sort by different experts, it's still me. But
I would say though,
now.
look at the if you go to the regular rest of season rankings and go to the filter, and then you go to you look at their accuracy, and they're like all like outside of the top 100. Like the rest of the season experts are trash. Okay, Ben Wassley, but look, these guys are like absolute trash.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
no, let's just run it real quick while we're already on. So check all the boxes. Recency last 7 days. We know what to do.
All recency last 7 days.
One time for the one
last
time.
7. Why don't I last 3?
You're right. Last 3 for the culture. Okay. Oh my. Oh, poor Jackson. His
team still sucks apparently.
My team went down. I was like an 89 or something.
I just kind of disagree. The experts are just trash.
I mean, they like Max's team because they still love Kamara. They still love Eckler. They still love McLaurin.
Who's Max's quarterback that they love so much?
Jalen Hurts. That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. Valid.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't have the best flex in the league anymore. Tragic.
Probably me.
It's William. Montgomery and Mike. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's true.
Montgomery's not even playing right now.
They have Kareem Hunt as the RB2. All right, whatever. It's Fantasy Pro sucks. Doesn't matter.
Fantasy Pros is trash. Anyways,
just the rest of the season. I use it weekly.
Jack v. Jack.
All right, Jack v. Jack. Sorry to interrupt. All right. We have an undefeated 4-0 Jack Terry, and then a 2-2. What place are you in? You're in 8th. So borderline playoffs. I mean, it's way before playoffs, so I guess it's irrelevant. Jack, you need a win here. Phillips needs a win here.
Big Phil out of principles, my vote. We gotta overthrow Terry.
He needs a win.
He's
bad.
like 11th in the league in scoring or something heinous.
He's probably
Is
right.
he really?
It's not like actually like 11, but it's like bottom half, which is
You know what's exciting? Jack, if you had traded Juju, you wouldn't have a Monday night game. And I guess you still would have had Jacobs. But Juju, the guy who you wanted to trade away, is now going to have to be your savior on Monday night and clutch up for you.
Here's what I'll say. And I know like most people really don't like Juju, and obviously I don't love him. I told William this. I feel like he's the Miles Sanders of wide receivers. They use him all the way down the field, and then they get in the red zone, and he's just like not a part of the offense whatsoever. I mean, he's been every week besides the week 2, which I think even week 2 he was like still tied for the leading targeted wide receiver, which like obviously you would think is good. And I know he's gonna have like 2, maybe 3 games where he goes for like 25 plus because he plays on the Chiefs, and it's just gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, really just my whole team in general is just playing at their absolute floor, and they have been for like 3 weeks. So I don't know. I'm just riding it out with them. Like, I don't want to trade any of them because I know their trade value can only increase. But we're riding. We're 2-2,
Desperate
so I'm
times,
not
baby.
panicking. We're not
Yeah.
panicking.
Yeah,
We're 2-2.
Stay cool.
All right,
Man.
hear me out. Sorry to cut you off. You said that Juju Smith-Schuster is the Miles Sanders of running backs, and this is gonna sound like a stupid comparison, but hear me out. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is the usual, not this year, but historical Clyde Edwards-Helaire of wide receivers. You literally have
That's
to
fair.
pick the Chiefs wide receiver one.
That's
Like, you
fair.
can't- like, because you're gonna get boned the 1 week you bench him, he's gonna go
Right.
crazy. 'Cause Chiefs offense.
Right.
That's my little comparison for
I
Juju.
think that's a good comparison. And a very
That is a good
unfortunate one.
comparison.
Like, if you take him out of your starting lineup, he's gonna haunt you and go for 30 that week. Like, it's
Yeah.
guaranteed. And he's just gonna put up 9 points in your like wide receiver 2.
And
That's not bad.
maybe-
Look at this.
Not
8
bad,
targets
that's not
in 3 or
great.
4 weeks. That's a startable guy.
I mean, and maybe Andy Reid will like look at the field and stop designing plays for MVS. He's horrible. He's dropped
Noah
like
Gray.
3 touchdowns. Or yeah, Noah Gray. Because all Juju does is run these like 3-yard sit routes, which like is cool for targets, but he's getting like freaking 5 yards per targets. And
To
he's
that
like,
point,
easily the most
targeted.
I mean, he's getting targeted, which is fine, but he's easily the most talented wide receiver. Like, let's start doing some more things with him.
And to that point, on the broadcast, they talked about how Juju has learned more this like 2 months with the Chiefs than he did in 3 years with the Steelers. And so it's like maybe it's just learning a completely different way to play football, and
Yeah.
he gets better as the year goes on. And I think that's very possible. Same thing kind of for Gabe Davis, who's going to obviously play better than he is right now. But those are just two. Another reason that like your team is underperforming is because your 2 flex receivers are really underperforming right
balls.
now. On the other side,
Eh,
Terry's.
How-
Sorry. You want
How
to
is
say something? Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. Well, I'm also still not out on James Conner. I think he's gonna end up being fine. I mean, it's just like literally just name a player on my team they're underperforming outside of Cup and Higgins. And I will have a new quarterback. Mariota will not be my quarterback next week. We're off the Mariota
Big
train.
news.
Yeah.
Leaking things on the pod.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I don't even care who it is. It just won't be Mariota.
Hey, you can say it actually because they won't see it till tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Going for my boy, Gavin's boy, Jared Goff.
You're going for
Nice.
golf. That's a good pick.
I think that is such a good
hey,
call.
The number one offense in the NFL and the worst defense in the NFL. That's literally the best possible fantasy scenario.
And
They have to
if
throw the ball every time they get it.
right, and if not Goff, if somebody gets him, I'm not gonna waiver him. I'll probably get Jameis.
Instead
Just
of
because you know
Teddy
he's
Two,
slinging that rock. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
You should put
Jameson is
Jameis.
broken
Jameis gets
back.
to play Seattle.
Yeah,
Teddy Two Gloves looked bad, by the way. I don't know if y'all guys watched that game.
I didn't.
he looked good. I thought his stat line was fine.
Well,
Anyways,
It was more
I gotta
of
go.
like a Tua can run the offense, and
Yeah,
Teddy
Jack.
Bridgewater looks at one read, and if it's not there,
Yeah.
he shits the bed. Like he has Tariq and Waddle, so it bails him out. But like if he
True.
was on like a team that's not that, like he'd be awful.
All right. I gotta go. I'll let y'all duke the rest of this matchup out. Please.
Thanks
at least one
for
of y'all pick
sticking
me.
in as long as you can.
Yes.
For joining, have fun.
Um,
S-
oop, my
Sounds
Siri
good.
is activated.
See ya.
Yeah, my Siri activated. Thanks
Okay.
for sticking in. See you, Jack. Okay. All right. Now we can
Moving on to
crap on this team.
Terry.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Jack sucks and you should accept my trades, damn it. But other Jack, we finally got to see what this team looks like when Lamar doesn't go for 40. Last
80
week.
points.
80 points. That's what this team looks like when Lamar doesn't score
Yeah.
40. I mean, this team is like not good. I'm gonna be real. AJ Dillon, Damian Harris, like
Well, he
those are
has
your
Swift
starters.
hurt. Swift is hurt, right?
That's
You
right.
have to-
Swift should be back this week. He might be back this week. I should give him credit for. But still, he has to start one of Alan Lazard or Josh Palmer. That's not ideal. Or he should be
Yeah.
starting Romeo Dobbs. Is who we should be starting. That's actually a decent starting lineup.
Mr.
but
Doobies. And Mooney resurgence? Mooney,
He had 2 catches, I believe.
yeah,
Four.
it was like 80 yards or something, 90 yards.
Hey, he has a over almost 40% target share.
We'll have to see if Jack waivers. I think he's got 8th waiver. See if he tries waivers for some depth because he has an empty bench spot.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I think Dobbs is a fine
no.
flex.
I think that flexing Dobbs and Harris and Dillon, and then starting Swift. That
But
makes his team-
Palmer
it's
getting
really good.
1 target out of 39 for Herbert
That's
is
concerning. With
not
Keenan Allen
helpful.
out again.
I don't know. I mean, obviously he was trying to work on some trades. So we might see his team change by the time next podcast comes out.
Maybe.
We'll see. But I think this week I really want Jack to win.
Like I said, I'm voting J. Phil off principle. Like, why do you have to fall? This is anarchy.
Yeah, I want Jay Fuller win because if I win, I go top the league in that situation. So that's what
Unless I outscore you.
Hey, it's close, right? Where
No, I don't think it's very close.
I'm up 30, so you need a hell of a week, but it's possible.
Man,
I think Jay Fuller.
I don't like Lamar against Cincinnati. That's pretty good matchup,
Ooh,
right?
Prime time.
Dolphins against the Jets, AJ Dillon against the Giants. I mean, he's got some pretty good matchups. Jack's team.
Damian Harris might score 30 against Detroit.
I don't know who to go for
He's
here.
getting a big roll by the week.
I'll say once Gavin has golf, once Jack has golf, I'll just vote for
That's true.
Phillips.
Yeah. All right. Good start. And then let's go to me versus. This is week 4. I'm stupid. Okay. Me
Oh yeah, we haven't
versus
decided game of the week either.
LJ. All right, let's give it a quick peruse. Let's see what we got here. Should we do? Is maybe LJ game of the week? Or
Could
it
be. LJ just
McClendon
had a really
versus-
good week.
I think McClendon versus Spencer. This is
I
too
remember Spencer's
good.
Oh,
This is two
Good
good.
game.
I
1-3
like that.
teams. think
I like
that's what's
that.
gonna be. So let's save that one for last.
I like that.
McClendon Spencer. That's game of the week.
New Luke Spencer. Both 1-3, both need wins, both good teams.
All right,
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
a
our
good one.
game.
Both
We'll save
hungry
that.
teams.
Yeah,
They both have injuries, like Keenan and Kamara coming back.
we're not there
Yeah.
yet. Let's talk about
Okay,
me
okay.
versus.
All right. Yeah. Gavin and LJ. All right. So Gavin projected 125. LJ coming off a brutal loss. So
That's
unlucky.
tough.
Projected 112. New look. Is this a new look, LJ? No, not really. We saw this last year.
Sort of. Still
all
coming in
right.
their own.
What do you think? Luke, you got any thoughts on this one?
And Amon-Ra St. Brown is in my IR and will probably start over Penny, just for the record.
I
If he
think
plays.
I think
Yeah.
Gavin, it's not close. Gavin just I keep bringing it up. I think he has a top 2 team in the league. Regardless of what Fantasy Pro says, I'm not being a little bootlicker. Fantasy Pros. I do think Gavin probably is best team in the league. Fantasy landscape. And then LJ seems gotten better. Right, like I think objectively from where he was 2 weeks ago,
He stepped it up.
it's gotten a lot better with like the CD talent injection and like the Sanders. If he can keep that up, he doesn't get a season high target, carries ever. But like if I think LJ seems better now. But I don't think it's enough. So
Yeah. I would have to lead Gavin as well. I don't really think Amon-Ra comes back. I don't think they're going to rush him back. But even if he did, I mean, this would landslide Gavin. But I think Gavin's team's a little hot right now. Pierce got a good matchup against Jacksonville, and Stevenson has a great matchup against Detroit. And those are kind of the X
It's gonna
factors.
break
I
my
mean,
heart.
it kind of comes down to Gavin's running backs performing well because his receiver and tight end is really good. And then on the other side, CD will be shadowed a little bit by Ramsey, Saquon against
So big CD game.
I don't know. I mean, Russell Wilson finally came through, and after I just berated him for being worse than Geno Smith.
He's still worse than Geno Smith, by the way.
I think, yeah, I guess Smith did have a good game.
Geno got 31. So
Golly. I think LJ's team, Wilson will get better. Lockett's been performing well, but I think Gavin's team is going to take this one.
sounds good. Always good to get some confidence from people. All right, next game. William versus Zach.
This was a great week for me personally because Melvin, the feature back in the Broncos now, Brian Robinson coming back, Michael Gallup immediately returns as wide receiver 2. So I love my team. I don't think I've ever had as good of a team as I do right now, like all the way through. Like my bench is like all great players. And I mean, I have Dak
You
Prescott
can't
too.
drop anyone to pick someone up. Your team is too good.
Yeah. So I would vote. I mean, I vote myself, obviously.
I love that you have Olave, and I'm still mad at Spencer for that trade. I think that Melvin Gordon, he might not be any more valuable than he's been. I think that they're going to have just even more of a timeshare. If they're not going to give Javonte frickin' Williams 60% of the carries, they're definitely not going to give Melvin Gordon all of them. Mike Williams, Olave, those are all great. Deebo Samuel and Devontae Adams in the flex. This is absurd. I think that Zach is a really good team. He's got 4 running backs that I think are all low-end RB2s in reality. Well, Joe Mixon is a high-end RB2. And Clyde.
You don't think Mixon's an RB1?
I think it's a 1.
He gets tons of volume. But by God, has he been awful this year.
Oh my word. His yards per carry is trash.
Look at that.
I mean, he's a
yards
high-end
per
RB2
carry.
in terms of output.
Yeah, he's the 14 right now. But I mean, you wouldn't say that like Damian Pierce is like RB1, would you?
I wouldn't say that. I'd take Mixon over Pierce, obviously, but like, I'm just saying Mixon has looked really bad this year, but it doesn't matter because he gets the carries, which is what's more important.
But it does play
Jeff Wilson
Baltimore,
was
another
good.
tough lineup.
Yeah.
And New
Devonta
Orleans
Smith and
next
Stephon
week.
Diggs.
Oh my gosh. That sucks for Mixon.
Yeah. I would say, Zach, don't panic about Mixon because he's about to be terrible for the next 2 weeks. Or actually, maybe panic, and then I can get him for like Damian Pierce straight up. Who knows? But right now, I mean, it's kind of a Williams team. It's kind of changing a little bit, but I do lean William. I think that Deebo and Devontae and Mike Williams and Olave are amazing. That's a crazy wide receiver room. Devonta Smith and Diggs are good, but I don't think that the mediocre running backs are going to be able to compete with the elite wide receivers here, at least.
Luke?
I think William. I feel like I only pick chalk in these. But like I'm a big Clyde hater. I feel like I'm the big like touchdown guy when they don't deserve touchdown hater. Because I'm very outspoken on my hate of James Conner from last year, and I'm very I told you so on James Conner this year. But like Clyde doesn't deserve to be playing the way Clyde's playing, and it's not even like Pacheco, like anyone specific. I mean, this game he had 56% of snaps, and I guess, but like he didn't really deserve to score 2 touchdowns this week. You know, he's the RB4 in fantasy, and like he doesn't really look like he's had RB4 production other than his touchdowns. So I think he falls off. Zeke kind of scares me. Devontae Smith, it's kind of, I don't want to call it flash in the pan, 1 week removed from the flash in the pan, but like, I doubt he hits 12 targets again all season based on that passing offense. I don't know. I'm a little timid on predicting Zach's team to go for 130 points.
I feel better about Jack's team than you do. Obviously, he's got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. He's never out of any game.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I just think it's a harder path. It's a
He's
more
I
consistent
agree that it's
path.
harder. And then D-Hop's coming back soon, so that's good for him.
Zach's the third highest scorer on the year so far. So
Yeah,
he
he's
definitely
good.
has something going for him here. But yeah, I think we can move on.
All right, I messed up again, so I gotta find it. All right, that's matchup of the week. We'll get back to that. Brett versus James.
Brett and
New
James.
Powerhouse Brett. I, for one,
Golly,
welcome our
man.
new Brett overlord.
Golly. I mean, every year, bro, we always are like, nah, his team's not, nah. And then he figures it out. And he has a really good team again. Dobbins and London in the flex. I know Jack's really upset because he was trying to trade for Dobbins.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, Jack's
Hawkinson
pissed.
just went crazy. I mean, they had no one else on the team, but yeah, Hawkinson can do that. And then James kind of having some trouble with Jonathan Taylor being really disappointing. Metcalf has been a nice surprise. I think Metcalf's playing better than we thought he would. I think Christian Kirk's been a great surprise. He's been playing really good. But I don't think Bateman's gonna play. Wait, do they play on Sunday? Oh, he'll probably
They do
play.
play Sunday. He's day to day.
I don't know. I mean,
yesterday, 2
yeah.
days ago. Sorry, it's Tuesday. Duh.
I don't know. I think Brett's team is a little too hot right now. I mean, he was just the number one scorer last week.
I
And
mean, anyone starting Chase Edmonds, I'm not afraid of. That's all I'll say.
Chase has done fine. What are you talking about?
But okay, Longs is complaining about Clyde's undeserved touchdowns. I mean, look at
Yeah, but Chase Edmonds had 3 and Clyde's had like 6 or 7.
Clyde has, I think, 5.
I thought it was 6.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I can't count to 6. That's crazy.
You're dumb.
Dies of cringe.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, Chase Edmonds. Where the hell is Fordham?
Doesn't matter.
Never heard. All right, doesn't. You're right.
He's a goat.
He's good, but hey, maybe George Pickens gets a bigger role with.
I think he will. I think he will.
Kenny Pickett coming. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but it's possibly good. Yeah.
Tom Brady's back. He decided to divorce his wife, and now he's playing well again.
Huge. City boys up. But yeah, I picked Brett. I think his team's really good. Nothing against James. James is a good team. I think Jonathan Taylor might have to be bad this week. Just because coming off injury, playing a tough defense. So yeah, I lean Brett.
He's rehabbing furiously. Yeah, I also lean Brett. I think Brett's team is pretty hot right now.
Rehabbing furiously. What does that involve?
Luke?
Sorry, someone's texting me. Brett's got a super team.
That's good.
I think this is a weird spot for me because I think James has individual players I want to trade for really bad, and I'm not gonna give names on the pod. No free.
I don't know
free
that he
advice.
listens. I don't know that James listens. So
He
Well,
listens.
also anyone else. No one take my trade targets.
yeah, no one say. No one tell James, but I want Christian Kirk.
But I think Brett is building an Avengers over there.
Yeah, he's got a good team.
It's hard to go against the Avengers. They're Earth's mightiest heroes, you know.
Hard to, yeah, I mean, can't argue with that logic.
Exactly right.
All right, William, did you pick someone?
Yeah, I'm rolling with Brett.
Damn, we're very chalky this week, but I feel like things are kind of.
I know, like I've been betting straight chalk, mainly because I've been distracted by my phone, but like still, I don't see anything.
Pay attention, Longworth. We're talking about you now. You versus Jackson. Some of the worst teams in the league.
The new look Robinson Lives Matter 1-3 needing a win versus the 2-2 Team Winslow coming off a barely loss, a really sad loss considering how bad Trevor Lawrence played after playing so good.
Trevor Lawrence literally fumbled the bag for me.
Literally, he fumbled
Quite
it
literally
multiple
fumbled the bag.
times. He fumbled the bag 4 times.
Mhm.
I think it'll be interesting. Right now, both paszawits players are listed as out. I don't know if they'll play, and he doesn't really have anybody he can play over them. So he needs those guys to play. Michael Thomas, if he comes back, probably going in the starting lineup. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I mean, Paszawits, for as much as we talked about his trade improving his team, you're right. His flexes are still very, very bad. Like Zay Jones, hey, he was out, but in his stead, who was it? Jamal Agnew got the Zay Jones role, and he got 21 points. So Zay Jones, probably you can put him right back in your starting lineup. I don't have any problem with that as a flex, especially given the situation. Chark, hey, if Amon-Ra St. Brown's not back and he is, definitely put him in your lineup because I think Tom Kennedy had a great. See, there are players who aren't listed on this depth chart for the Lions who had good games. So if DJ Chark is back, and you can probably start him. So I do kind of like Jackson's team. I think he's really improved it. There's a lot of like upside, but right now Longworth has a better team. Even with Etienne being pretty bad, if Michael Thomas comes back, then he won't have to worry about that. But
Nice.
I lean Longs here.
I think Jamar is gonna blow up this game. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen eventually.
And the Ravens' off defense until this past week have been pretty bad.
Yeah. Longworth, probably going with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a bad sport if I went for Jackson here. This isn't like that one podcast episode where me and whoever I was playing, I think it was Jack, picked each other.
That was cute.
That was a little sussy. But I don't know. I spent like kind of 2 minutes on a soapbox gushing about Jackson's team and how I love the trade he made and stuff. So like I do love his team, just not this week.
Not against me. I like his team, but
Yeah,
not against me.
It's my second favorite team this week. How about that?
Game of the week.
Yes.
Game of the week.
Let's look at it. This
Game of
is
the week.
do or die. These teams need to step it up.
They
playing
both
up to
need it
potential.
bad, bro. They need it. McClendon 1-3, but projected 129, highest of the week, versus Spencer 1-3, projected 119. New look Spencer got McCaffrey, Thielen, Mandrews, Keenan will hopefully come back. So we have 4 new players that Spencer has not had before versus Max's team. Not much has changed since his draft. Actually, I don't think anything has changed since his draft. Has anything changed?
Max does not trade.
Max does not trade.
And hopefully he'll have Kamara back. So I don't know. This is a good one. I'm glad we did this matchup of the week. And
Yes.
I am gonna. Well, actually, I'll go last. Gavin, you can go first.
I'll talk about Max's team because I think that he might. I think that I don't know if he's brave enough to do it, but he might have to bench Kittle for Higbee.
I think he has to. Yeah,
I think he has to at this point because look at what Higbee's done. He had 14 targets last game. Tyler Hatecrime putting up numbers, and I think that he's got the ambitious double Tampa.
Yeah, trade for Brady.
Yeah, get the whole pie.
Just and for Brady to get Rachaad White, because ain't no way in hell you're getting Fournette from me with your boo-boo ass trade offers.
That'd be so lit, bro. Just roll out the Bucks every week. They got an easy schedule too, I think, right?
Pretty sure and hey, if if Swift sits another week, then he can start Williams over McLaurin or Woods and be balling. And I also think that if he wanted to, he could start Singletary. Singletary is getting good work somehow.
If he needs to. I don't think he wants to
I don't
start
think he needs to, and
Singletary.
I don't think he wants to. But we talk about all these teams that have no one on their bench. He has people on his bench. He's got some valuable.
If Jonathan
players.
Taylor misses this week,
Nymeim Hines, yeah.
do you start Nymeim Hines over Woods or McLaurin?
I don't.
Oh no, I do too. Yeah, Taylor's out.
If he's out,
I don't start.
If he's out, you won't start Hines over McLaurin?
No, because I mean, they have other guys they want to use. They have a
Like
rookie
Deion
Guy
Jackson.
that's got 2 carries.
All right.
Oh yeah, featured.
Well, look, I
You're
mean,
back.
Nymeim Hines has 8 carries on the year, so
That's not his role. He's a
Yeah,
receiving
that's not his
back.
role. That's bull.
yeah, which means they're not going to give him the Jonathan Taylor role.
Well, I don't think they're going to
Also,
give
most
a
importantly,
non-player the
the
Jonathan
Colts
Taylor role either.
are
Yeah,
ass.
I think they're going to split it, and
I
Nymeim Hines will be the main beneficiary.
They're going to split the Colts backfield, and the Colts suck. They're terrible. They're unbelievably bad. Matt Ryan's washed. The
Dude,
Colts have
I
a
can
good defense
look.
and a bad offense.
I'm calling it
It's the
right
worst
now, bro.
Fantasy.
If Jonathan Taylor misses, the Colts run game is going to have the best week it's had, and people are going to be like, how the heck is this happening? I'm calling it right now. If Jonathan Taylor misses, I don't think he'll miss, but if that happens, the Colts are going to have like 140 rushing yards, and people are going to be like, what the heck is wrong?
Yeah, we're talking as if Jonathan Taylor has ever missed a game in his life. I saw some article last week talking about how he had not missed a practice since high school. Like, he never missed a practice in high school, college, or the NFL.
I
He
mean,
sat
when
out
you,
his
when
first
you
practice.
rehab furiously, like,
Yeah,
how
he's
could you
rehabbing
miss a practice?
furiously right now. He's he's so pissed at his ankle. He might not be good, but he will be out there, I bet. And even if he isn't, I don't want to start Nymeim Hines. I'd rather start Singletary. I'd rather start Ayuk.
L
I'd rather-
take.
What?
L take. That is an L
Hines
take.
with no Taylor over.
Yeah, you know what? I hope that who's some like ridiculous. What's something completely absurd I can say that I'd start over? I mean,
He's
who's
got a
on my
good
team?
bench. I mean,
I'd start Isaiah Pacheco over Nymeim Hines.
no,
I'm
dude.
saying I will start. They're playing. Yeah, I bet. Like, we need to.
Okay, we'll bet on this.
Yes.
Nymeim Hines or Pacheco, who scores more, and then we'll figure out something. next
Wait,
week.
wait. Hear me out. Nymeim Hines without Taylor or Khalil Herbert in the new, I'm assuming, timeshare.
I mean, shit, will you
Hines.
give me that, William?
Hines.
Will you give me her?
easily.
Bro, no. I'm taking Pacheco.
Bro.
I want Iguodala.
I want Iguodala.
Dude. Hines with
Game
no
cadence and
Taylor.
everything.
Look at this man. He's a bum. Okay, we'll put 18 there and 20 there. But
No, bro, look at that 20-point week. I saw the 20-point week. You ain't slick, brother. You ain't
he
slick.
did put up.
Ooh, and that 18 and that 14. Ooh.
That's
6
on,
for
like, some-
74. He's cold now. boy.
Bro, he's like that.
Look, he's not. The only way his only path to relevance is catching some.
Hey,
He has
man.
to catch a touchdown. And
Yeah,
then
but,
he'll score
he's,
touchdowns.
but he's got Matty Ice checking it down, and he's gonna get more carries. He has to go for like 12 or 13.
They
We
don't-
spent too much time on Nymeim Hines.
All right.
We need to
Nymeim
get
Hines,
Spencer some.
some sort of bet. Like,
Nymeim Hines will outscore Pacheco this week. Mark it. All right, here we go. Spencer's team. McCaffrey finally has his good week, and he didn't even run the ball. It was
At
all
all.
22
receiving.
points as a receiver is absurd.
It was all receiving. And I think he's kind of, this is a good time to trade for him because I think he's gonna be
it's
back.
time.
Despite the injury, like what was that? That was the weirdest thing. The thigh injury where he might not play, and then he has his best game of the year.
I don't know. They just like scaring us.
I think that's par for the course, man. Just like straight
Okay.
up.
Damn it. Sam Darnold's not close to a trading from IR. I was hoping that we could get Sam Darnold back.
Help
until
us,
now
Sam.
things
You're our
are.
only hope.
Not sure that'll help.
Are y'all familiar with the Reddit community called r/the Darnold?
No.
No.
Oh man, let me find this real quick. I'm sorry.
All right. While you're finding that, I'm gonna go through the rest of his team. I think Mark Andrews against Cincinnati will have a better week than 3.5. I think he'll probably finish in between 15 and 25. Keenan Allen, if he returns, will be featured for sure, just because he was featured week 1. Robinson needs a touchdown to be relevant. I mean, that's how it's been this year. That's how it was. That's how it's kind of always been. But that's how it was last year. But not his rookie year. And so if he gets a touchdown, he'll be good. Kyler Murray playing against a really good Philadelphia defense. That's kind of disappointing. Same with Marquise Brown. But despite all that, I'm going to go anti-chalk and go Spencer, just because I've gone with the favorite every time. And Spencer's exciting and he's got a new team. So I'm going to go Spencer.
I don't know. I think Spencer's team is better. So isn't he chalk?
I don't know.
Spencer's team is better?
Is who's the favorite in y'all's eyes?
I think Max.
I mean, you've got players like McCaffrey. McCaffrey had 9 targets last week, and you've got players like Marquise Brown, who had 11 targets last week. And you've got players with 9 and 11 targets. That's a good recipe for success.
I'm glad
9
you
and 11.
snuck it in. I'm glad you snuck it in.
I was worried. No one had.
I didn't know where we would have it either.
Yeah,
Don't
I
worry.
was worried. I've been worried the last hour.
I found it. Don't doubt me. There's lots of
My God, you
stats.
found it.
Someone has 9 and someone has 11.
Eileen. Oh my God, Max has predicted 130. Holy
Yeah,
cow!
Max has a really good team.
Yeah, but I mean they've been underproducing. Is my point.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. He's 1-3.
1 and 3. They're both
First
both
win
these teams
last
have been
week.
underproducing. These are both good teams.
I think Spencer. That's just no
Wow.
nothing other than the gut feeling behind it.
Maybe I'll have to go Max to go against
No,
you.
I'll go Max. I got Max.
Okay.
All right, I got to show you all the Darnold. It is a reference to the Donald, which is the Donald Trump subreddit. So r/the Darnold talks about like greatest ever quarterback. It's like Cubus, Geocubus. I don't know how you say that, but it's like our Cubus has been infected with mono, no doubt due to Faker Mayfield's wife sleeping with Darnold. Or Orange Man Bad, Faker Alert.
Why is this 3
Critical
years ago?
Case Theory. Because I sorted by top because I wanted you to see the best ones. Like Critical Case Theory is brainwashing our young QBs from when Adam Gase was the quarterback. Or these whistleblowers are frauds and cannot be trusted. We'll prosecute them. We've done it before. Lock them up. It's just referees. I'm very amused. The Darnold makes out with hot chicks. Timid Tom Brady only kisses his son. I am amused by this. The Jets were winning by a lot when suddenly the rigged Raiders gained mysterious points and won. When will Gutless Goodell let Geobus investigate the obvious fraud?
Gavin, check the group. Check the
Yeah,
group.
I was about to say they're shitting on our game of the week pick right now. Those bastards.
I don't know who else will be game of the week.
Yeah,
This is a great game of the week, bro. It's a must win.
Yeah, must win for most teams.
He
Nothing
says
like
Longworth
choosing
versus
bad-
Paszawits is better.
I don't care.
Like maybe I almost recommended it, but I didn't want to be like facetious and be like, oh, I'm the game of the week.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think this is a better
I think that
storyline.
McClendon and Spencer are good teams underperforming, and
I
that's
think there's a better storyline.
Because
Look at this. You have 2 good teams, and one of them will be 1-4. Okay, you really want to end up like 8-7? No. Is it week 15 or 14?
It's
14 weeks,
15, I believe.
15 weeks. So that means that they'll need to go
15.
like 7-2, 7-3 the rest of the season. Like that is really hard to do. And they already have like kind of a maxed out team. Like how much better can they get? And so they both really need a win. So this is definitely game of the week. I don't know what the group's going crazy about.
They're just hating. So many haters. SMH my head.
Max has had 2 game of the weeks. That's funny. I didn't even realize that. All right. Well, anyway,
We might have something in the works here. Ah, fuck. All right, no. Max refuses to trade with me. I thought I could get him to accept a trade for the meme. This bastard. I've been pestering him for like literally 6 straight hours.
I know.
what's the trade?
It's the one I showed you. I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast.
What, you showed William the trade, but you didn't show me?
It's because I got included for no reason.
Yeah, William got roped in. It was like a 5-team trade.
I mean, actually, like I get
Half
it.
the
Like,
stupid councils in cahoots. Feel left
Nah.
out, man.
It's a whole thing, but
we'll tell you. We'll tell you.
I'll tell you later. This
Anyway.
bastard, he's gonna reject the trade. It's a good trade. William, it's a good trade, right?
We gotta include
Mac should
Paszawits
accept.
on as the guest next week. Bro lives and dies for this podcast.
Facts. Paszawits is
Paszawits is
is
our
ballin',
greatest
bro.
listener.
dude. Literally,
No.
I'm telling
I
you.
was talking to him, like talking him through some of the trades he was offering, and he was absolutely grinding for like 18 hours straight. And I think he ended up like, out of all the trades I listened to, this is the best one that he ended up getting. So props to
I'm telling you, I
Jackson.
freaking love this trade for him. I think it's like this. I think his team went down on fancy pros, and like obviously it will in that situation, but like it's what his team needed. It's game changing.
I'm so excited. Yeah, maybe next week. Maybe he'll come up with a win against you, Luke. Maybe not. And he plays Spencer next week, and Derek Carr and Jacobs are on bye. Oh, bad timing.
All right,
Maybe he'll trade him. Anyway, I think without anything less, I haven't eaten dinner. I think I kind of want to jump into this group text.
I know, yeah, we got to get out of here. I can start editing the podcast, so I can go
Yeah.
play pickleball. I know, I said there'd be
Pickleball.
timestamps at 10.
10 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got plenty of time.
All right, I
Yeah,
gotta go.
that's-
Eat.
okay.
I'm dying here.
Let me find
Let's outro this.
outro music.
Just fine.
Said not to have Jack here. Alrighty, let's
Yeah,
get
rip
out of
Jack.
here.
Jack's down the dumps.
No, he's making money.
That'll do it. Episode 5 in the books. Write it off, baby. The best
Max,
week,
accept my
the
trade, you
best podcast.
bastard.
Fantasy Council. See you next week.